Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfside channel. Today with a very special, indeed very special topic. Is Bakti, depending on your pronunciation, viable or not from a political standpoint? As for a new player, for example, Bakti is awesome because you are pretty near the jungle. You can get more or less lost in the jungle. But you have a huge variety of PvE options around the town in general, or near the town compared to other towns. In Mortal Online 1, Bakti was one of the PvP hotspots. Maybe that was because mounted combat was completely broken and a lot of footies played in this area here, but I don't know. So you have a lot of farming options. You can also go to the Spider Valley, make the spider dungeon and stuff like this. You can go down and hunting Campodons, or you can go to the jungle camp and farm stuff there, satyrs and whatnot. You can also gather a lot of materials in this area. The only thing this area is missing is endgame materials. Also it depends on what you consider endgame materials. I'm just talking about Chronite and Ogmium. These are the most endgame materials, but not everyone is using that. Of course, not everyone is using that, and there's just a small portion of people is using that. So when you live in Bakti, the most people ran around with scales. Not all, of course. A lot running around with steel, but scales are pretty cheap here. And compare that, for example, if you buy a lot of scales in Bakti and transport it to other towns like Morincourt, like maybe Fabernum or Tindrum, then you can sell that for a huge profit there, if you can transport it safely. So from a political standpoint, this town is, in terms of resources, in terms of the location, in terms of everything that's around this town, is very viable in my opinion. The only problem is the lack of the hardcore endgame materials, but this is more or less not a huge problem. What could be a major problem is that this town is not a capital city. And when the territorial control patch comes, where you can control the towns and have settings in the towns, like we had the Mortal Online 1, of course we had not huge settings or stuff like this, but you were able to disable guards and you were able to blacklist people. And this is the interesting thing, because this keep here is very near this town, and it could be that this is one of the most viable keep spots ever, because it's so close to a town, and it's easier to hold that here because you can easier get supplies, can get easier stuff there, instead of running across the whole map to getting shit there. And maybe in the future, when the future TC patches will come, I don't know what Henrik planned, if they would implement it like in MO1, maybe yes, maybe not, I don't know. But when this stuff comes, then maybe the only guild of this town then will set specific rules for Bakti and will maybe even make the city better or worse, it depends. So this is a footage from the test server, and there's people in Ogmium there and pretty high-end materials, of course, in a normal setting. Normally in Mortal Online you see this very rarely. When it comes to sieges, when it comes to stuff that matters for a guild, when it comes to their homes getting destroyed or stuff like this, then everyone is running around with Ogmium and Chronite when it's really worth it. But the very good thing on Bakti is here that the resources are so plentiful all around the town, and because this is the town, the nearest town at a jungle, so of course they have a lot of animal materials and a lot of resources there, and it's also perfect for you to learn combat there if you're a new player and stuff like this. This is also, from a political standpoint, very important, because if you have a guild base and you have the new beginner players directly at your, not directly at your base, but maybe close to you, like if you're controlling, if you're a guild that is playing around Bakti and you have new players in Bakti, then it's easier than if, for example, if you are a guild that is playing in Galkor and your noobs need to start in Fabernum or stuff like this. This is pretty tough, but you should gather your noobs anyway and get them into your town to get into the game and to know the game better and stuff like this. And when it boils down to sieging near Bakti, this is pretty much the same like for every other location there, because Granum is everywhere and you can buy these catapults everywhere. So I mean the only siege benefit you would have is if you place your guild on a small little island and you have no place there to place a Manganon, then you're won basically, because then you are unsiegable siegeable. But if you are in the Bakti area, this is like siegeable like every other structure on the map as well. Horse spawns are not far away, so this is also pretty good that you can easily getting a horse, because some spots of the map are really lacking in horses. I mean, it really depends on where you are on the map, but at some places you're lost. You have to walk for 30 minutes to get a horse and something like this, and then you're dying in 3 seconds anyway because a circ of 20 people came along and stuff like this. But who am I talking to? You all know that. But if you just compare Bakti and its resource and its location and its community there, and compared with all the other towns, then Bakti is a little bit superior in terms of that, because it's so close to the jungle. If it wouldn't be so close to the jungle, then okay, then it would be not so good, I guess. It also depends on the further expansions. I mean, just imagine. I mean, this is a lot. This is far away. But there's another continent called Lukario, and this continent Lukario is directly placed at Merland. So this whole continent is just jungle, and this is the jungle we have right now, but expanded to a whole continent. So maybe, just big maybe, Bakti will have a huge impact in the future. But I'm talking not about this year, next year, next 3 years or 5 years. I'm talking about the future, okay? But considering this, if we have this continent Lukario and the other continents, then Etherium will be the capital city again, I guess, because that is the center of the map, if you believe it or not. This is planned to be the center of the map, at least according to the old maps Star Wars drawn, and they really stick to their vision on that, I guess, because Saduka was very close to that, what they have anticipated over 10 years ago. But what I'm really interested in is your opinion about, is Bakti a viable political position, or would you prefer, for example, Gaulkor? Would you prefer Favenum? Would you prefer Etherium? Would you prefer other city over Bakti or not? Please vote for that in the description. So please, if you like and subscribe, that would be really awesome, by the way. And special thanks to all the supporters, of course, Carmel, Professor Lukario, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Cologne, Bulldog, Giovanni, Vargas, RealMadWurst, Greta, you, and all the others, of course. And never forget to make your Bakti hard, make party hard, I said party hard. See you all next time. Goodbye.